Welcome back. Local human rights groups have not been easy on the government when it comes to demolishing shanty towns throughout the country. They argue that it's unconstitutional to move someone out of their homes and that many of the residents can't find accommodations elsewhere. But Christian Council First Vice President Archdeacon James Palacios is at the very least congratulating the government on its widespread consultation on the issue, adding that the exercise is being done as humanely as possible.
You cannot have two sets of laws operating where people can build indiscriminately and unsanitarily in violation of set building codes, etc. You cannot have two sets of laws in the country. Well, in this case, it's like no law. So we have no problem with that.
Father Palacios accepts, though, that this is all very painful.
I know the government is saying it has an inventory of some 200 units where the displaced people could go and rent. Well, that's only a part of the issue. The reality is where you're going to get first and last month's rent from. And in addition to that, their salaries very often basic, minimum wage type salaries. Are they able now to pay for apartments that would rent for $500–600 a month?
The deadline for shantytown residents to be evicted is August 10th, except in the case of those in Abaco. In other news this evening, the report into that fatal Andros plane crash is complete. But in terms of what officials have discovered, those findings won't be made public just yet. Here's Air Accident Chief Investigator Delvin Major with what's behind the delay.
We were only able to contact 3 of the persons by the deadline we had scheduled, so I pushed it back and still trying hard to locate the other family members because it's out of courtesy. We have to have them review it before it's splashed across the headlines. It's not for them to see. It's preferable that they have a look at it. So it's already completed. And just waiting, like I said, I'll give everybody till the 31st, and if I don't hear back, make contact with all of them by then we'll release it, but we just want to at least give them the opportunity to have a chance to review it first.
All on board the ill-fated 6-seater aircraft died shortly after takeoff from the San Andros Airport on the morning of January 17th. Fast forward 5 months and another such tragedy occurred over in Rock Sound, Eleuthera. The victims, 3 American men whose Cessna crash-landed in a bushy area.
Right now, we just last week we came back from Florida where we did the analysis of what was recovered from the site, where we laid out everything that we had and were documenting what was recovered. So that documentation phase of the airframe and the engines is complete. The next phase is we leave on August 13th to Alabama to the factory that made the engine, and we're going to be doing a complete engine teardown just to determine whether or not the engines may have played a role in what caused the aircraft to crash. So right now, that's where we are right now.
Mr. Major says the BCAA has some idea what may have caused the crash, but a full analysis must be carried out.
We want to rule out anything, rule out whether the aircraft was at fault, whether it could have been the pilot or whether it could have been the engine. So we based on what we've seen, we have an idea, but we need to confirm our ideas by doing analysis of the airframe, what was remained, and doing a full analysis of the engines. And once we've gotten those reports, then we'll put those together and see what was done from the engine analysis and the airframe analysis, along with what we suspect, and see if we could come up with what really happened.
Mr. Major says an investigation of this sort can take up to 10 to 20 years, but the BCAA aims to wrap it up in a year's time. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.